Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Together Through It, Wisdom from Unexpected Journeys. In each episode, you'll hear a family share their story, one shaped by an unexpected turn. Sometimes that turn or shift begins with a medical diagnosis, a traumatic event, or another circumstance that no one could have predicted. These are families who once pictured life unfolding one way, only to find themselves on a very different path. Their journeys include challenges and obstacles, but also moments of joy, connection, and unexpected strength. Along the way, they discovered programs, resources, and people who help their son or daughter, their sister or brother, and help themselves too. We want to share these stories with you. Our hope is that you not only feel seen, moved, and inspired, but that you also find something here you can carry into your own journey. I'm Angela Paxton, a daughter, a wife, and a mother to two extraordinary young women. I'm also a research professional at a large Midwestern university. I love to listen to audiobooks. I love beating people at Scrabble. I love singing karaoke, and I love spending time with friends and family. Today, I have a very special guest with me, my husband, David. Together, we're going to share our own story, our family's unexpected journey with our youngest daughter. Welcome to Together Through It. Well, hello.
Morning. Is it morning? It is actually afternoon now, isn't it?
I think it is afternoon. We thought we would be doing this in the morning, but it's now after lunch.
Well, that's what happens when you're getting things started for the first time.
That's right. You just want it to be perfect.
And I will say you had much difficulty booking your first guest.
It was hard to get you.
I was very elusive.
Yes, it was hard to get you pinned down. Thank you for making time.
You're welcome. Anything for you.
Oh, wonderful. I'm really excited to have you here today, and I'm going to ask you to start by telling our audience a little bit about you.
Okay. I am the husband of a wonderful lady who is the mother of my two daughters, and we live in central Indiana. Have lived here my entire life. I have worked in radio for many, many years. Left radio for a while, came back. I do work on air, but then I also do production and some of the back-end stuff in radio, and that's what I do in my living. And luckily, I have a wife who makes a better living than I do.
A little bit more, just a little bit.
A little bit.
Tell us a little more about our youngest daughter.
Well, let me first talk about the journey that we had to becoming parents, because
that's good. Let's start there. Good.
Yeah, we met and fell in love and decided to get married, and I think both of us agreed that we wanted to spend at least a few years just the two of us. That we were both intent on starting a family. But we wanted to let a little time, enjoy being married for a while before we introduced new lives. And so you were ready to be a parent earlier than I was.
Just a little bit before you, just a little bit.
And so in much like normal situations, your decision won out in the end. And so
usually do win.
Yeah, so we welcomed a daughter into this world in 1998, and she is an outstanding human being. She is now getting her doctorate at a Midwestern school and is on the cusp of doing great things.
That is true.
And she was ahead of the curve in everything that she did. It was
definitely true.
It was an amazing childhood that we got to witness, and it continues to be. She's an amazing girl. But then we had the second daughter, who is amazing in completely different ways.
She is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
in her own right.
She came along in 2001, and very early on. I mean, obviously within hours after she was born, she was in the NICU. And our experience with her was completely different in terms of being parents and and understanding what we were going to be heading for, because she did not meet any of the markers that the doctors like to look at.
Our oldest did them all earlier.
Yes.
And our second one took her time.
Yes. And I will say, you right off the bat identified that there was something else going on. And so you got, you just started talking to people, calling out, getting all the information you could to get her assessed and to get the doctors involved so we could see what was going on. And while we do not have a definitive diagnosis as to what her genetic condition was, we kind of have a clinical diagnosis. Mm-hmm. What we do know is we have a daughter who is on the autism spectrum, and she has some other disabilities in terms of her mental capabilities. But she is a wonderful, social, happy. She was a child that was definitely a challenge, but has grown up to be a young adult and someone who can hold a job and is a joy to be around most all the time. But she forced us to change how we looked at our lives on a daily basis, what we wanted to do with our futures, what we wanted to do when we might retire. All of that was thrown up in the air in just an instant when we got the first diagnosis that there was going to be some differences with her.
Do you remember, looking back, the first time you knew something was going to be different than with our oldest?
Absolutely, I remember.
When was that? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, again, because they did not know for sure, we went through a series of doctor visits, got referred, and we got a number of I don't want to say guesses, but clinical thoughts as to what might be her situation, and some of them would mean that we weren't going to have her with us for very long because she wasn't going to survive. Some of them were not as serious as that. Mm-hmm. And so I can remember I can remember going to an appointment with her. I had to leave to go to a meeting for the job that I was working at.
Oh, I remember this, yes.
And I remember sitting in that meeting and thinking, our lives are done. Anything we ever hoped for to do and
really
to be,
rough time.
And to watch our kids, watch our youngest daughter grow up and get married and have a family, that's done. Mm-hmm. And it's I still replay it. I can remember standing there with clients. This was when I was out of radio for a little while, and I'm standing with clients and I'm talking with them about whatever project they're working on, and I don't even know the words that are coming out of my mouth. Mm-hmm. It was just, I was in a haze.
Right.
And see, now I told myself, you're not going to cry.
Oh, you're getting emotional.
But no, I'm getting emotional because I'm remembering that time.
It is very emotional.
But what I will say was, in a lot of ways, as hard as it was, having you as a partner in it was huge. Having family that supported just whatever they were willing to take it on, that was huge. Mm-hmm. My mother, mm-hmm. your mother,
yep.
Friends, our community around us,
yep.
They did an amazing job in supporting us.
Talk more about that. I think for the most part, yes, our family and friends were a big support. But we lost some friends too. There wasn't.
Yes.
Not everybody was willing to take that journey with us. Do you want to talk about the positive relationships, our moms, our friends, and then how it was difficult to lose some other friendships?
Well, even in the friendships we have still to this day, and a community as strong as they are, one of the adjustments we had to understand pretty early on was, one, we couldn't be that family that could just go do things. We couldn't take that trip to Kings Island or to Disney World or to an amusement park. That was never going to be a possibility for us, because if we did, we would be sitting in the front courtyard of whatever amusement park, just waiting for everybody else to finish their fun, because we had a daughter who did not like crowds, who did not like
noise,
who did not like loud things,
yes,
and
alarms.
certainly no rides. And part of the issue also is, we had friends who were really, really supportive, but they didn't understand how sometimes we can't ask. We don't need your help. There is no help you can give us, and we love that you want to support us and you want to try to help, but you just got to let families that we know how to deal with it, because we've had to deal with it, and so sometimes it made it a little awkward in dealing with friendships.
I remember those times at one amusement park. I remember too that often we would do things separately. You might go off with our older daughter.
Yeah.
And I would have our younger daughter, and that wasn't ideal, but that worked. So both of them could do what they wanted to do, and that was just an adjustment we made. And
in particular, in terms of our family, there was a lot of things that we wanted to do that we couldn't do because of just the realities of our situation, and I always felt that our older daughter, she missed out on a lot of things that she could have done and experienced. And, we don't have to get into it, but if there's any family out there that's ever visited Niagara Falls, I'm guessing you stayed more than 27 minutes.
I think it was 27 minutes, yes. Maybe less.
And you did not have a child look out the window as you drove away and said, well, I'll be back someday.
Oh, we've got to get her back there.
we
owe her a trip.
We do
owe
her a trip to Niagara Falls, I guess.
We never made it to the Maid of the Mist. I don't know if we got ice cream. We just left.
Yeah,
she couldn't handle it. Our younger one could not handle it.
We're pretty set in the fact that we know our journey is different than everybody else's. But I will also say, from a selfish standpoint, there are still many days where I look at everybody else out there, because we're of an age now where we have friends. They're all empty nesters.
Yes.
So their life journey is now open to whatever they want, whatever whim, whatever trip they want to take. Let's go to Napa. Let's do fun things. And that's not ever going to be in our plan. And so there are some times that I will rail against the gods and say, why were we, I can remember I'm trying to remember. I believe it was one of my aunts who said early on, well, God doesn't give you a challenge that you can't handle. And I'm like, no, God clearly wasn't reading our manual, because there were many days, especially early on, that I thought, I am not built to be able to handle this.
But we did that, and I think we were often in different places, weren't we?
Yeah.
One of us was feeling pretty low, and the other was the cheerleader, and then vice versa. I think that was always helpful when we had a different role. We could support one another.
For a long time, I just there were long periods where you just wallowed in self-pity. You just did, and it's nothing against. I love my daughter. I love everything about her. I love the things that she does that amaze me to this day. She's exceptional in so many ways, but her challenges make it difficult some days, and I wish that I wasn't so selfish sometimes. I think I've gotten better as I've gotten older to try to accept the motto that no matter what, be grateful.
Yes.
Be grateful
your
that you're up
and
you're moving and you've got a family and you've got people who care about you. Be grateful, but boy, some days
it's hard. It is hard.
And look, we talk about it all the time. This is our challenge. I was thinking about this earlier today, where I was, sometimes one of our daughter's big issues is she does not communicate exceptionally well. She speaks. She does not speak well. She does not carry on longer multi-question and answer kind of conversations. Hers is a very simplistic, one or two level kind of communication style. And so sometimes I will feel like that I can't talk to her. And then I'll hear a friend of mine go, yeah, I got a teenager who's the same way.
That's true.
I can't talk to him either.
Right.
Because he doesn't listen and he doesn't talk to me back. And I'm like, okay, everybody has that issue. Ours is just a little different, but it's, we all have those journeys. And that's
right.
The great thing about, I think, of what you're trying to do is this doesn't have to be just about families who have children with some kind of challenge or special need or whatever. What's the political term that we like to call
different
it these
abilities.
Days? Different abilities.
Yeah, but you're right. I'm going to talk to lots of different families
that have
all sorts of
everybody
different challenges. Yes.
has challenges in the raising of their children, and are they doing it right? Mm-hmm. You and I have on many occasions looked at each other and thought, we're lucky in that we have the older daughter who has excelled so much in life, and we did not have to be as involved in that with her. She just naturally took to so many things and achieved in so many ways that we almost look back and go, if she would have, I know she had anxieties. I know she has anxieties. I know she has self-doubts. I know she has all those things. But we were so often concentrated on our younger daughter that I don't want to say overlooked, but she wasn't the squeaky wheel. So we didn't address it.
Self-discipline, a self-starter on her own.
Yeah.
So you've talked a lot about the challenges. I think maybe you could highlight some of those, the big challenges, her behavior challenges, school. Talk about some of the things that helped along the way address some of these challenges.
Well, from a challenges standpoint, particularly when we started out, we were told early on that she would likely never talk.
Yes, I remember that.
She would
probably
never walk.
Yes.
She would never certainly be able to communicate in any way, shape, or form. And she exceeded all of that. And I will say right off the bat, I cannot say enough about the teachers and the early pre and early school educators we had in our school district. That our daughters attended a larger school system that was phenomenal in both identifying and supporting students who were advanced in their abilities, like our older daughter, but also who needed extra help, like our younger daughter. They still have a phenomenal life skills and program that I think she's speaking and she's writing and reading to any level at all because of the wonderful teachers.
Yes, and we started early, right?
In that school system.
We didn't wait. She was in the school system at the age of 3.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, for the people listening, it's so important to identify these challenges early and get them into early intervention, therapies, early education. Those are so important.
Look, when you get that diagnosis, you are going to have that point of the world has ended. You're going to have that feeling of utter helplessness, and our entire life, as we hoped for, is done. You're going to have that feeling. But the difference is you have to get through that. And you've got to begin to think, okay, so it's different now, but how are we going to make it the best possible for our daughter or our son? And that's where you came in. You started talking to people and calling people, and you got into a support group with other mothers that shared resources, and they were the ones that said, "Oh, you got told no? Well, that's no. You keep calling, you keep visiting, you keep talking to people, you keep whatever you have to do." You keep doing it, and there are going to be times where you feel like, we just lost out, but no, you just keep at it.
That's great advice,
and so, you're going to feel like it right off the bat, our life is over. No, your life is just now different.
It looks very different.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the social side of things. How do you think we've done keeping our daughter busy?
Well, look.
Maybe she's too busy.
Yeah. Well, I think that's I think that's a big important piece.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest changes is, normally as your child gets older, they probably go get their driver's license, and then off they go, and they become autonomous. They go and they drive themselves to practices and to their outings and their social gatherings, and that is not something we're ever going to be able to do. But what we are aware of is that one, we have a daughter who is very social, and when she was in school, she had a natural area of friendships. And I will also call out our school system because they were wonderful. One of my biggest fears as our daughter was getting ready to go to school was remembering what it was like when we went to school. And the kids that I now look back on and realize had some challenges and how they were just left by the wayside.
Different time.
They were oftentimes the butt of jokes.
Yes.
And I would love to say that I was blameless and never involved in any of them. But as a kid, I didn't understand. And so it was a big fear of mine that we had a daughter who was going to go in and was going to go into a situation who could be bullied, who could be hurt, who could be assaulted, who could be certainly verbally ridiculed, and we would never know about it because she couldn't communicate it to us. But she was also so socially conscious that she would be aware that those people were not being friendly to her, were not nice to her, and it would cause her pain and suffering. We had a school system that the kids were wonderful with her, almost to a fault. They were all great. They had great programs that peered them together, and she had many friendships
Talk
going
about
through
some
schools.
of those
but then,
programs.
well, Best Buddies is
Best
one
Buddies,
of them. But there is a wonderful organization that runs nationwide called United Sound.
Mm-hmm.
It is run by a wonderful lady who identified pretty early on that all students needed to have the access to be able to play music. And so it is a program that peers students with students like our daughter, and teaches them to whatever their ability play musical instruments, and then integrates them into orchestras and bands. And it is an organization that, boy, if there's a family out there that has students going through school, find out whether United Sound is available in their area, and if not, do everything you can to get it there, because it's a rewarding enterprise that does not cost anything for your student to be involved in, but it helped to build friendships, and it helped her socially, and some horribly bad notes were played, but it doesn't matter. It was an opportunity for her to be involved.
Yes.
But then as school ended, it fell to us. We have to now be her social director. Yes. So we have to get her to all of the things. We try to keep her as involved in as many things as possible, but we have to be the driver. We have to be the escort. We have to be there.
What do we do, though? What have we done to make that a little bit better for us? We found some things that have helped.
Well, we divide and conquer.
We do.
We understand that. I mean, we used to, growing up, try to be at everything either of our child was involved in. But as we've gotten a little bit older, we understand that we can't be going to she's heavily involved in Special Olympics now, but both of us can't go to every practice.
Right.
So we divide and conquer, but we make sure that one of the parents is always there.
And we have the bus service.
We have a bus
some
service
communities
locally.
do have a local bus service, which she's really good at ordering her rides, requesting her rides, making her payments. She's been doing that pretty well, but they're not always available. So the other rides fall to us. And then there's also the magical carpool. Yes. Finding those other families that you can carpool with. That's also been helpful.
Yeah, and that's a big part of as your journey through life is going to be different, but you're going to end up having great friendships with other families that are in the same, they're rowing the same direction you are. Their child maybe they have a child with Down syndrome. Maybe they have a child who has a physical issue that keeps them in a wheelchair. But we're all on that same journey, but it's just a little bit different path.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all there for each other.
It's been a great support to
And
have
it
those
is.
families
Yeah.
to ask questions, to laugh, to cry together. Even if our children are a little different, it's still been a great support.
Yeah, when I was growing up, my family, we attended church each and every week, and what I got out of that more than anything else was the sense of a community around me. And so maybe it is a church in your situation. For us, our community are these other families and these other parents who are understanding of where we are. And if we plan something, then all of a sudden, we're not going to be able to be there. They understand that. That's just the realities of what it is.
Yeah.
But having that community, that's another big part. So you have the initial shock of what your life is going to be now. Then you start to fight for everything that you can to make your life with your child as fulfilling as possible. But then you also get that community, talk to people. And thankfully, I have a wife who does that better than I do.
I'll talk to anyone.
You will talk to anyone.
In the grocery store.
Yes.
At the doctor's office.
Yeah, and we have a daughter now who will talk to anyone,
I
too.
taught her to do that, I think. David, this has been wonderful. I'm thinking about the families that are listening, that are getting their children's diagnoses for the first time. These are younger kids. Think back to when you were younger, when she was younger, and you first found out about her autism diagnosis and some of the other delays. What advice would you give to your younger self that families that are listening could learn from?
I was actually thinking about this in a completely different way. I do a thing on radio, and one of the questions I have, I do a question of the day, and one of the questions I have is if you could time travel, where would you go back? And for me, I think if I could tell myself, I would go back to the early 2000s when we had not only we were just finding out and just getting the diagnosis. I would go back and whisper in my own ear to just relax, just be present. I spent so much of those early years just thinking, worrying, having anxiety, and being scared of what the future was going to be, and that we were not going to be able to do this successfully. Mm-hmm. I spent so much time that I didn't appreciate just sitting on the floor and playing blocks with my girls. That I didn't, I wasn't present as much as I wish I was. So I think that's what I would do.
I think you were.
I would tell that person that if they just got the diagnosis, again, you can feel like your life has ended. You're certainly allowed to rage against the elements and against the gods who have done this, but give yourself some grace and allow yourself to
find the joys.
Just
in
be
this
grateful.
Very different journey.
Just be grateful in whatever that life journey is, but just take those little moments, because eventually your children are going to be older and you're not going to have that quality of time that you needed to have with them back then.
That's beautiful. So well said. I agree. And find care for yourself. You are the caregiver.
And the other thing I would say,
take those breaks, go out and do the things you love to do.
The internet is an amazing thing. Reach out, find all the resources you can, not just from a support system in terms of medical or mental but all of that. But also there are support groups. There's
healthcare financing programs, and I hesitate to mention them because they're different,
right,
in different areas of the state, the world. But find those resources and apply. And as you said earlier, if there are denials, you appeal these programs because you're going to need extra funding for some of these services. So find what the child's eligible for and apply.
Absolutely. And just reach out and just keep talking to your family, to your friends, and be present with your children.
Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your story. I think I got you a little emotional.
Yeah.
I really thank you for being here on our first episode of Together Through It, the wisdom from unexpected journeys. We are so grateful for all of our listeners today and for our guest, David, for sharing his story with honesty, courage, and hope. Every family who joins us reminds us that while unexpected paths can be challenging, they can also lead to connection, resilience, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. Our hope is that something you heard today, whether a lesson, a moment, or a feeling, stays with you and supports you on your own journey. You're not alone on your path, and we're honored to walk alongside you. If today's conversation resonated with you, we invite you to follow the podcast, share it with someone who might need encouragement, or reach out to us to tell us your story. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and remember, we grow stronger when we travel together through it.